Hey, it's Cynthia Thurlow, nurse practitioner and functional nutritionist, and I wanted to come on tonight and talk a little bit about something that has been coming up very frequently for my female clients. And for those that follow me, you know that female hormonal health is really kind of my niche and what I enjoy doing and I'm super passionate about. And lately there have been a lot of conversations with women feeling badly about themselves because of weight gain. And one of the things that I think is really important for people to understand is that weight gain is oftentimes a symptom of a bigger issue. And we know in our society that we are incredibly judgmental about obesity and weight gain, and certainly for women this can be highly problematic. We feel tremendous pressure from society, from well-meaning family and friends to maintain a certain weight. And I say a certain weight because it seems kind of silly, but weight is something that's so highly personal and so highly charged. And we see images in social media and the movies that convince us that we have to maintain an unrealistic expectation of ourselves. And so there is this ongoing inner dialogue that can be incredibly destructive. And I had a really great conversation earlier today with a friend of mine who is also now a client. And I told her, I said, I think those of us who have not found that to be problematic until a certain stage in our lives probably struggle with the image issues that really embraces. And so what I want you to consider, if you're listening to this live, please give me a wave or say hello. Hey Mary, hi Morgan and Barb. I want you to really think about the limiting beliefs that we have in our heads, that we have to ascribe to societal pressures to be a particular size without recognizing that oftentimes when we're struggling with weight gain or we're struggling with image issues, it can be a sign of something else. And so I want you to think about a couple things. Our weight can be a reflection of inflammation in the body. It could be our body's way of protecting ourselves. It can be a way of our body trying to ensure that we're not exposed to a pathogen, that we are not exposed to a heavy metal that we have ingested or been exposed to. It can be related to, it can be highly reflective of our gut health. One of the first things I do with most of my female clients is I run stool studies to really look deep down what is going on with their gut microbiome. And this past weekend, we did a really great podcast. I'm really excited to share with you soon. As soon as we get our podcast launched, Everyday Wellness, talking with a fellow healthcare provider about the gut microbiome, which has so much to do with hormonal synthesis, neurotransmitters, depression, anxiety. It can deal a lot with bacterial load, which can impact our ability to lose or to gain weight, can be reflective of parasites or other pathogens that we've been exposed to. So when you're dealing with weight gain, you have to be thinking, what is going on with my gut? Super important. Another thing to think about is that stress has a huge impact on our weight. I know that we don't like to think about it, but so many of us internalize our stress. I know that I'm certainly guilty of that, as are many of my female clients. But for any of us that are dealing with work-related stress, family stress, I'm in the sandwich generation. I have parents that have had health problems over the last couple of years. I had a kiddo that had a traumatic injury a few weeks ago. And so something to consider is the cumulative impact of stress, professionally, personally, that can impact our gut health, which can absolutely impact our ability to lose weight. Think about that. So if you think it's not important to dial in on stress, to practice self-care, I'm here to tell you that I've seen countless and countless women that have really struggled in this area. Hey, Deneen. Next, I want you to think about hormones. So we talk a lot about cortisol. Cortisol is that I'm being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. I'm running away from something scary or dangerous. It is designed to be an emergency backup system, but in our totally over-harried, crazy existence that we live in, we are constantly tapping into cortisol. We're not sleeping enough. We're waking up at night. We're dealing with stressors that's tapping into cortisol. And cortisol is one of those special hormones that is designed not to burn fat. So if you are constantly dealing with an overwhelming amount of stress, you're not dialing in and supporting your hormones, cortisol can be detrimental to trying to lose weight. It is a belly storage and upper leg storage hormone that will impact your ability to burn fat. Almost all of the women that I work with as well, we do specialized testing looking at their adrenal glands and their hormonal health. And one of the things that I see very frequently when people are really struggling with weight gain issues is that their cortisol is dysregulated. There are a slew of other hormones, but that is a key one that it impacts our ability to lose weight. I want you to also think about sleep. Sleep is so profoundly undervalued, and so for me, one of the first areas that I'll really work in and dial in on is someone sleeping well? And that isn't just how many hours a night you're in bed. That's the quality of sleep. Are you in a cold, dark room? Are you going to bed with electronics? I mean, how many of us go to bed with our iPad or iPhone, probably the TV running, and we're not thinking about the cumulative impact of blue light? And blue light is junk light. It is not designed to be beneficial. You know, in this currently overstimulated environment that we're living in, our bodies believe that we're not ready to go to bed. And if our bodies believe that we are not ready to go to bed, it's going to pump up cortisol. It's going to impact the secretion of melatonin. Hey, Jen. It's going to impact our secretion of melatonin, and it's going to disrupt our ability to fall asleep. So dialing in on sleep quality is super important. If that means you wear an eye mask, my kids call it my eye bra. I have no shame in that whatsoever, but certainly something that you want to be considering, something that you want to think about. And then I'm going to give a plug to a very important person that definitely has impacted my sleep in a very positive way. Brian Hoyer is big in the ancestral health movement. He did an evaluation of our home last year looking at hidden sources of radiation EMF exposure that was definitely impacting my older son and I since we moved into this specific house. And so there are certainly things that you can do that can dial in on the radiation that you're exposed to that for many of us can impact our ability to sleep properly. And I'm happy to say my sleep quality today I feel is largely attributable to the tips that Brian gave me and the products that we purchased for our home. It's ongoing. We're not perfect. I'm still trying to get rid of our microwave. My husband's really been reticent to do that, but I'm hoping now he might be more receptive to doing that. And then lastly, I want you to think about physical toxins in our environment that can impact our sleep and our ability to lose weight. I'm a huge advocate of thinking about the toxins we're exposed to in our food, our personal care products, and our environment. Super, super important. There are specific chemicals, they're estrogen mimickers that can impact hormonal synthesis negatively in the body. So it's important the quality of products you're using on your skin. It is so important to think about where your food comes from. It is super, super important to think about the environment and the things that you're exposed to. Those can all impact hormones in a very negative and profound way. So, as an aside, I want you to come back to my original point, which is the fact that we have this limiting belief system in our society about weight gain as we get older. And older could be 25, 35, 45, 50, or beyond there. It is, to me, it is not significant what your age is. It's that we as a society are really conditioned to believe that we're not allowed to gain weight as women. We're shamed if we gain weight. We feel badly about ourselves if we gain weight. And I don't want to make it about a size. I want everyone to think about a healthy set weight that we all like to be at. And in later segments, I will talk about my own journey back to health. It has taken 3 years. I do not ascribe to the belief system that because I'm in my 40s, that I should have to accept that I'm not at the weight that I feel comfortable at, and is not a good weight for me. So again, just to synopsize what I was chatting about, my name is Cynthia Thurlow. I'm a nurse practitioner, a functional nutritionist, female hormonal health expert. And these are key ways that things in our environment, personal care products, and life can impact our ability to lose weight. Just something to think about. Have a great Wednesday evening. Bye.